Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel where in today's video I'm going to be doing a game in the AMX 13 SS11. Now first off, I'm going to do a very brief overview of the vehicle. Of course it is a premium vehicle, so all modifications will come unlocked straight away. It is worth noting this as of now is not available on the Gaijin store. It was one of the original French Ground Forces CBT bundles for a tier 4 premium and currently is no longer available. So starting off with some of the stats, this is a rank 4 vehicle, as I said, 6.7 rating. Now it does have fairly weak armor, but it is a fairly mobile tank, and of course has those 4 SS.11 ATGMs, which can give it a decent advantage against more heavily armored vehicles. The main gun is a 75mm SA50 L57 cannon with 36 rounds of ammunition fully loaded. Personally, I only take 15 of the highest pen rounds. I don't take the full amount of ammunition, purely because the more ammo you have, the more likelihood it is that you're going to be ammo racked. Now, of course, as I said, this does have the SS11 ATGMs, which we will look at in a bit more detail in just a sec on the modifications page. You also have 4 76mm smoke grenade launchers, so pretty useful there. If you're damaged, you can drop those smoke grenades and sort of hide your tank for a short while. You'd also then have a 7.5mm Mach 31 machine gun as well. You only have one of them, but it can come in handy to distract a target if you need to. Turret rotation of 22 degrees per second, pretty quick there, not too bad. Vertical guidance is -6 plus 13. Not a very big range there, but it is a fairly decent depression there on that gun, so that is rather useful. Reload rate of 5 seconds, again, very quick reload. I believe this has an auto loader. If not, at least it is a fairly quick reload anyway. Crew of 3, so the survivability is not going to be the best. You just have a loader, a gunner, loader, commander, driver, so not the best survivability there. Basically, if 2 of your crew members are knocked out, you're dead. With most tanks, you can have a few knocked out and you'll still be fine. The mass of the tank's 15.5 tons, incredibly light vehicle. Max speed is 37 miles per hour, so pretty decent speed there. Just going to quickly look at the armor. You'll see the thickest bit of armor seems to be the 40mm at the front there. There is a piece on the mantlet that's 60, but it is worth noting it's very thin armor. Majority of this, though, is angled slightly, so your effective thickness is a lot more. But nonetheless, it is very weak armor, and only 20mm on the side, so pretty much anything will kill you, effectively. Now, you'll see you do have the engine at the front here, and the transmission. Your driver will die if the tank's hit in the front, but that transmission does partially protect most of your ammunition load. It is worth noting, though, in the back of the turret, you have these two drums of 6 rounds of ammunition each, so 12 rounds in the turret. They will explode if something hits them, so that is worth looking after. Now, looking at these ATGMs in a bit more... a bit closer really, the SS11, so you have 600mm of pen at all ranges. It is very powerful. You only have, so it's only 30 kilograms, the weight of the whole thing, and it's got a bit of explosive, so that's not too bad. It is fairly basic. It's not a hugely quick ATGM either. It is the caliber technically is 164mm, so not huge, but it is a fairly decent weapon. And if it hits something, it'll at least do some damage. As I said, you can have the choice to take out these Pot 51As, which are APC. They only have 168mm of pen at closest range. Or you can take the HE, which I just wouldn't do. Usually, I actually take the APC BC, which does cost 100 silver lions to take. But yeah, they're the P-Cot 51Ps. They have 180 at closest range, so they do give you a bit more. And the damaging effect, I believe, is a bit better than the Pot 51A. And of course, since it is a premium, everything is researched already, so nothing to worry about there. Well, now that we looked at this in the hangar, let's jump over into a game and see how this thing performs. Alright, so here we are in a game on the Berlin map, and I've sort of flanked round majority of the enemy fire, been able to get into a good position. This is the version of the Berlin map that has the friendly A point and the enemy B point. Looks like we've got a super Pershing, so let's fire a shot. There we go. Hit the turret. I was able to take out one of the rounds of ammunition that exploded, killing his crew. Now, I did just accidentally fire an ATGM, and since you have to use the WASD keys to control them, you can't move the vehicle, and it looks like the ATGM's gone off, so I'm just going to fire another one, get that destroyed, and now I can move my vehicle. So I didn't want to be sitting there for too long, as I was in a bad position. But now that I'm moving, I do need to keep it... Oh, okay, and my gun's instantly knocked out. Now, one thing about the Berlin map is there's a lot of damaged buildings, a lot of places you can take cover, but for majority of this map, you can actually get sniped from across the map, as you saw there. Now, I have unfortunately just lost a crew member. As I said before, this only has 3 crew members, meaning that if one more crew member dies, I'm out of the game. So what I need to do is I need to keep as sort of, at this point especially, as sneaky as possible and try not to get hit. And instead of just repairing my tank right now, I'm trying to get to a fairly covered position before I start the repair. I'm also moving towards the A point, as most of my team is actually converging on that point. Anyway, though, I think I'm going to go here. I'll go sort of behind this Panther, this dead Panther tank. Go behind that, use that as a good position to repair. And once I've done that, I will be back in the game and I'll be able to hopefully get a few more kills. So this looks like a decent position. A lot of the enemies in front of me are behind a hill. One's over near the Reichstag building. They shouldn't be able to see me because of that wall. Fingers crossed, though. It's probably best to keep an eye out, though. I have a 32-second repair time, I think. But not too long repair time for a gun, so pretty lucky there. Keeping an eye out, though. Looking for any enemy vehicles. If I do see some, I will move in on them, because I think I've flanked round fairly effectively. So they might end up being on the friendly side of me, so I can get round behind them and surprise them. Someone just dropped some smoke over there. Over to the left, someone did drop some smoke, so I need to keep an eye. Oh, there we go. What's that? A Hellcat? Looks like a Hellcat, so I think I will move in once my repair's done, and it's done. Keep a good eye out, just because with most tanks, most heavy tanks especially, you don't really need to be overly, you don't need to look out that much, really. If you get hit, the likelihood is you're either going to bounce the shot, you're going to absorb the shot, or you're just going to have a bit of damage. With this, though, one shot can instantly kill you, because it's 1, a small vehicle, 2, a very small crew. So you do need to be very, very thorough with those lookouts. And there's the Hellcat, so let's fire into him. There we go, hit the turret. Again, the shell fragmented, knocked out all of the crew, so that is another kill for me. But now I'm just going to try and sneak up, not towards the B point. I think I'm going to move towards their spawn. I did see a shot go through, yeah, machine gun. Looks like it's from that friendly tank. And now this is an interesting game mode, actually. I believe it's my team's the Germans, the Russians, and the French, and the enemy team's the British and the Americans. Very interesting sort of team layout there. Not something you see very often. But it is definitely quite fun nonetheless. We are recapping the A point, which is definitely a positive. Do have to keep an eye out, though, for over near the Brandenburg Gate. That's where the enemy spawn is, behind there. So that's where they're all going to be coming from. Now, they all seem to be behind hills, so I can't actually see them at the moment, which isn't exactly great, because one of them could pop up when I'm not looking and shoot me. I do also need to keep an eye out down near the back of the Reichstag building. Speaking of, there's a Walker Bulldog. Nice, set him on fire, knocked out the engine. Looks like his tank continued to move behind that building, though, so I have not got a clean shot. Do need to be careful. Friendly tank's just gone off towards the enemy team. Hopefully, if he doesn't get killed, I might pop up and move forward. For now, I won't, though. Just being overly careful. Is there someone over there? Yeah, they all seem to be behind a hill at the moment. There is a long sort of hill moving along. Is that an enemy tank? No, okay, get back. But yeah, so I don't have, what I'm doing mostly is I'm mostly using the highest pen shells, the APC-BC. I also have some APC shells. With this, I wouldn't advise using the HEs whatsoever. Don't use them. They're really not that useful, to be perfectly honest. But the APC-BC shells, as with most tanks they're usable on, are rather useful. Anyway, though, just keeping a good eye out. Looks fairly clear. Let's see. Anyone over there? Nope. It's a friendly tiger. Just going to hold my position. I think if it looks fairly clear for any longer, I might move out and go along. Yeah, I think I'm going to go along. So I might go along that road just there that's in a slight sort of ditch. That way it'll be a bit more difficult for the enemy tanks to actually shoot me. Looks like we are sort of capping the B point at the moment, but I don't know how long that will last. And that will take a while anyway, so it might be kind of difficult. It might actually just be the easiest option to try and take out the enemy team at this point. Not a huge amount of them are actually left. There's a friendly tank over there. Just going to continue to move. What else can I see? Yeah. Oh, okay. Someone is in those buildings. Let's see if we can get a clean shot. Can we fire through the building? Nope. Okay. Let's move forward, though. If you're wondering what skin I'm just using the plain desert camouflage. I've chucked some Israeli army decals on it. Obviously, I've got the monk and the teddy bear 3D decoration on there as well. So that's just some funny little things I've chucked on. Let's see. So there is someone in those buildings. If I can get a clean shot onto the turret, that would be useful. Anyone over there? Doesn't look like it. Looks fairly clear. Yeah, I'm just going to continue to move on. Now, this is a point where you do have to be careful. Now, let's see. What is it? Is that a cupola? Let's see. Yep. Oh, T92 by the looks of it. Okay, nice. Let's try and get a good shot. There we go. Okay, through the side of the turret, knocked out the crew. But as I said, this point of this map is a very dangerous point, because as you can see, there's all the pillars, all those sort of things. If an enemy tank can get a good shot through those pillars and hit you, it's not going to be very easy to fire back. You sort of need to line up the pillars in such a way that you can see through. And that's what I'm trying to do now. Let's see. Anything through there? What is there? Oh, okay, we've got a duster. There we go. Hull break. Lovely. And that is 4 kills in this game. Not too bad. Usually I die I get a few kills, then die very quickly. This game was different. It was something that sort of made me a bit more excited to play the French vehicles, which I am going to try and do now before the sales. I want to try and grab a few more of them. But anyway, so that was the AMX 13 SS11. This game is coming to an end. There's only a few enemies remaining. As you can see, I just set fire to another duster and got an assist on that. But there we go. AMX 13 SS11. What I would say about this vehicle in conclusion is that it can be killed very easily, but if you play it right, it can be a very formidable long-range and short-range tank. Anyway though, thanks a lot for watching this video. If you did enjoy, please consider leaving a like, maybe even subscribe to the channel. If you do, that would be massively appreciated. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.